Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel and welcome back to the PREM Prediction Show. Yes, the international break is finally over and we are here to predict Week 8 fixtures for the 25-26 Premier League season. As I say before every video, please do hit that like button, please do hit that subscribe button, and also press that little hype button as well. All about algorithms, isn't it, with YouTube? So we'll go for that as well. But yeah, get your predictions down in the comments, and we will begin with the first game, and it is a 12:30 kickoff at the City Ground where Nottingham Forest play Chelsea. And it's safe to say this is a must-win for Ange Postecoglou. Nottingham Forest are 7 games without a win, and he hasn't even won a game yet. And there is already talks that his future is on the line for Forest. Look, what I will say against Newcastle United, they were in the game. They were in the game. I can safely say that they were certainly in the game with that. But I think when you look at Nottingham Forest, they are a shadow of their selves under Espirito Santo. Be honest, they are, and it's really really difficult for me to look at this Forest side. Look, international break, anything can happen after an international break. We all know this as well. But I just look at Forest and they just don't look like a team right now. They don't look like a team. They don't look like they've got the players to really help them at the moment, and it's really, really difficult for me to see where the next points are coming from because when you look at these next three fixtures, Chelsea at home, Porto at home, and then Bournemouth away, three really tough games in there. So, can Ange get a win? Well, he better get a win very, very soon because otherwise, Marinakis will definitely get rid of him. It's as simple as that. He will definitely get rid of him very, very soon. So, yeah, that's obviously Forest side. Chelsea side of things, obviously, the last time they played, they beat the champions Liverpool by 2-1. And I've got to say, they deserved it. They did deserve it. I think when you look at Chelsea, it's a very, very exciting young team. Um, Hopefully, they'll be sort of defensively sound because again, they did have a couple of injuries in that game. Notably, Tosin Adarabioyo, he was off injured as well, and the young defender, I can't remember his name, but he went off injured as well. But no, fair play to Chelsea, fair play to them. They deserved it. Moises Caicedo again, the heart of that midfield. He looks like he's really lived up to his name now at Chelsea, and I think it's good. It's good that he has because I think he's been excellent. And obviously, Estavio coming off the bench from a Mark Cucurella uh, cross, and it went into the back of the net past the Liverpool goalkeeper Georgi Marmadashvili. So how do I see this one going? Look, I have said obviously about Chelsea's struggles on the road. I have obviously said about Nottingham Forest struggles really in any game at the moment in time. And I'm going to go. I'm going to have to say this, but I just cannot see Nottingham Forest getting anything out of this game. Chelsea did win this fixture, by the way, 1-0 last season to guarantee themselves into the Champions League. I think it's a completely different story here. I think Chelsea will win this one. I'm going to go Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 2. So there we go for the 12:30 game, and we are now into the 3 o'clockers and a really, really interesting matchup here. Brighton and Hove Albion versus Newcastle United. Brighton on the end of a 1-1 draw with Wolves in the last game. Newcastle 2-0 victors over Nottingham Forest, which was a very, very good result for them. But Brighton, yeah, tricky really. I think they were probably one of the teams probably happy for the international break because that result against Wolves was very, very strange for me. Um, they went behind early on, did get the equaliser, and I think you've got to say, Bart Verbruggen, obviously, that own goal, which was very, very interesting to say the very, very least. But I look at Brighton, and I think the thing is with Brighton, they're very good at home. There's you can definitely say that they're definitely good at home. But the one thing you can say about them, they do seem to leak goals away from home, and that is the one thing I think they need to sort of get back into their system for sure. So coming up against Newcastle side, will be very interesting because you've got two really good attack-minded managers there, and obviously, you've got Fabian Hersler for Brighton, and then you've obviously got Eddie Howe for Newcastle. Speaking of Newcastle, they won 2-0 against Nottingham Forest just before the international break. Nick Voltemada with probably one of the best penalties I've ever seen. It is hit like a volley into the top corner. Lovely, lovely finish, to say the very, very least. And he has started very, very well in his Newcastle career. Bruno Guimaraes as well, with a very good finish to make it 2-0 as well. And I think Newcastle fans will just be wanting to climb the table now. I think that's one thing you can say about them. They will be wanting to climb the table as well. However, Newcastle don't have a very good record against Brighton, and especially at the Amex. And as I said, you just don't know what happens after an international break. But for me, I think I'm gonna tip Brighton in this one. I'm gonna tip Brighton in this one. Nick Voltemada will probably score because he is seemed to be scoring for fun at the moment. Is the young German striker. But I do think Brighton have just got a little bit about them, and obviously they'll be coming up against Yakuba Minty as well. Will Newcastle, obviously a player that Eddie Howe had to get rid of to obviously deal with the PSR issues at Newcastle. And I think he'll have a point to prove. I think he will have a point to prove. And I'm going to go Brighton to sneak this one by a goal. I'm going to go Brighton 2, Newcastle United 1. So now we have a very interesting matchup of two of the promoted sides coming up against each other. Burnley against Leeds United. Fair play to Burnley. Like, I've got to say, Scott Parker has got his team playing really, really nice stuff. Unlucky to lose against Aston Villa. Obviously, Leslie Ugochukwu got the only goal for them. Obviously, Villa did win that game 2-1. So back in front of their home fans, they'll be expectant. They'll definitely be expectant. Last time they played against the promoted side, they beat Sunderland 2-0. So they'll be hoping to improve in that aspect. But look, it's going to be a really interesting game. To tell you the very very truth, Leeds United, I think they've started pretty well. To be honest with you, I do think they've started very very well. Obviously, a loss the last time out against Tottenham by 2-1. And I think as well, you look at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he is getting chances. He is getting chances. And especially with, Dan James on one wing, you've got Wilfred Monto, you've obviously got Noah Okafor to come off the bench as well. Leeds have got a really good attack now. And I think that's one thing you can say about Leeds. My only worry for them is defensively. Defensively, I do worry for them a little bit. Goalkeeper wise, look, as soon as Lucas Perry comes back in, I think he'll be back in the team. Because Carl Darlow, to be fair to him, has had a very very good time of it recently. I think he has had a good time of it recently. So be a very very interesting game, this one. As I said, two of the promoted sides from last season. I can't really separate these two. I know Burnley beat Sunderland the last time that they played, um, but I just think these two are probably going to be there or thereabouts by the end of the season. I think you've got to say that, and I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I can't separate Burnley and Leeds, so I'm going to go Burnley 1, Leeds United 1. Will the two managers be happy with that? Who knows? Who knows? But I'm going to go Burnley 1, Leeds United 1. The next game is two informed sides, Crystal Palace against Bournemouth. Both of these sides in the top half of the table. Crystal Palace's 19-match unbeaten record did come to an end at the hands of Everton. Everton of all teams, but fair play to Everton. But I still can't say anything bad about this Crystal Palace side. One thing you can say, Daniel Munoz is one of the best wing backs in the Premier League right now. He is just unbelievable. Anytime he's going up that wing, he, he has scored a couple of goals recently. Scored in the Conference League against Dynamo Kiev, and then obviously scored against Everton, which was very very good. So one to watch probably for if you're a fantasy Premier League player, one to watch definitely. But Crystal Palace, look, disappointing that they've obviously lost their unbeaten run. Oliver Glasner, manager of the month. Congratulations to him. Thoroughly deserved, I've got to say. But I do think I like Crystal Palace what they're doing. I think they've got a really good team about them. And yes, it's disappointing to lose that unbeaten run, but maybe that'll help them. Maybe that will now help them to get that get that run back up. And look, Crystal Palace, very good side, no doubt about it. They're doing really really well, and I do think as well with obviously having to juggle obviously Conference League and Premier League, that could come to affect them at the moment. But at the moment, they are doing really well. They are doing really well. But as are Bournemouth, Bournemouth in very very good form. 3-1 win against Fulham. Antoine Semenyo is on the form of his life at this moment in time, and it's safe to say it is good to see because Andoni Iraola is doing a really good job at Bournemouth. Let's be honest, he is doing a fantastic job there. And it's really difficult, this one. It really, really is a difficult one to call. Because Bournemouth are still unbeaten since that defeat at Anfield, which is really, really interesting. But obviously, Palace will want to bounce back. They will obviously want to bounce back from that defeat to Everton. And if this was at the Vitality, then probably I would just pit Bournemouth. I would pit Bournemouth, maybe a draw in there. But I think the fact is it's Selhurst. I'm going to go for Crystal Palace here. Crystal Palace 2, Bournemouth 1. Really hard one to call. I'm just going to pip the Eagles there. 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Manchester City against Everton now, with Erling Haaland in the form of his life at the moment. He is just on unbelievable form against an Everton side who ended Crystal Palace's unbeaten run of 19 games. So, yeah, Man City 1-0 against Brentford. I wouldn't say they were holding on in that game because they had chances in the sort of the first half and the second half to sort of kill that game off. But I think what you've got to say is a couple of times they were looking a little bit ragged defensively. I think Gavardio was still coming up to speed. Obviously, you had Mateus Nunez on right back. You've obviously had Nico O'Reilly at left back. And, they're not natural sort of left backs or right backs, to be fair. And then obviously you had Ruben Diaz and also Gavardio there as well. So City are still looking a little bit ragged, but I tell you the one thing, Gianluigi Donnarumma, that signing looks like a really good signing. It's definitely made them more solid now. They've got a really world class goalkeeper. I feel for James Trafford. Let me just say that. I do feel sorry for James Trafford. I think he has done. He's he deserved his move. He deserved his move from Burnley, but even he knew that once Ederson had gone, I think there was always a chance that Donnarumma was going to come in. To tell you the truth, but back in front of the home fans against Everton, they'll be expecting. They'll be very very expectant. Everton travel to the Etihad on Saturday. 2-1 win against Crystal Palace. Really good performance. Obviously, Jack Grealish is ineligible to play against his parent club, which will be a big blow for Everton because he has been absolutely unbelievable, has Jack Grealish. Obviously scored the winner against Palace as well, and he's been really, really good recently. He has. So Everton fans will be very, very disappointed to know that Jack Grealish will not be involved in this one, but I mean, away at Man City, it's really difficult. It is really, really difficult. City will have the majority of the ball, but Everton can definitely hurt you. Everton can definitely hurt you. But unfortunately, I don't see it happening here. I think City will come out on top in this one. Manchester City 2, Everton nil. Now we have a very interesting game at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland against Wolves. First things first. Sunderland were not great at Old Trafford. Let me just say that they weren't. They weren't great at Old Trafford. Couple of decisions may have maybe not gone their way. I mean the penalty decision not to give a penalty for I think it's Traore. I think Fernandez or Lamens did come out. And I've seen them given. I have seen them given, but no, for obviously Sunderland didn't deserve anything out of that game. So I think that was a bit of a wake up call because Sunderland fans have been really, really, really happy in the fact that they are winning games, which is really good to see. But I just think that defeat at Old Trafford did come sort of back down to earth a little bit, if I'm being honest. But look, they are doing really, really well, Sunderland, and they'll want to do more. They'll definitely want to do more as well. Keep getting points because this definitely helps at this stage in the season. Wolves 1-1 draw with Brighton. I mean, that's another point on the board, but again, Wolves need to get wins. Need to get wins, and I kind of look at this game and Wolves aren't great away. Safest thing to say. They're not. They're not great away. They're not really great at home either. Sunderland have been very good at home. They've been very, very good. I think it's 3 wins and a draw so far this season, which is very, very good for them. So they'll look to try and win this game. They'll look to try and win this game. And I'm going to go Sunderland 2, Wolves 1. I think they will sneak this one. I do think they will sneak this one. But I'm going to go for the Black Cats here in Sunderland 2, Wolves 1. Nearly said Fulham there. Nearly said Fulham. I will say Fulham because now we have the 5:30 game on Saturday Night Football. Fulham against Arsenal. Yeah, Fulham are an interesting one. Haven't started the season well, just to tell you the truth. And against Bournemouth, it was a very, very even game up until the point of basically, Bournemouth scoring and obviously Fulham equalising. It was disappointing for Fulham to lose that. To tell you the truth, it was a very, very disappointing game for them to not win. Let's put it this way, but no, they're coming up against Arsenal, who had a good win against West Ham, 2-0 in the end. Declan Rice against his former club again, and Bukayo Saka getting the goals there as well. Arsenal are currently a point above Liverpool at the moment. But Craven Cottage has been a bit of a sticky ground for Arsenal recently. Obviously, it was a 1-1 draw last season. I think they lost 2-1 in one season against Fulham as well. So Craven Cottage hasn't been the most of happy hunting ground for Arsenal. And I kind of look at this one, and as I said, anything can happen after the international break. And I've got a feeling that we may see a bit of an upset here. We may see a bit of an upset. And I think Fulham can give Arsenal a game. And I do think that they can get a draw out of this. I'm going Fulham 1, Arsenal 1. So we move into Sunday games, and the 2 o'clock kickoff is Tottenham against Aston Villa. Both of these sides on the back of narrow victories, has to be said. Tottenham won by 2-1 at Elland Road. Aston Villa beat Burnley by 2-1 at Villa Park. But Tottenham have started the season really well, I've got to say. Thomas Frank, I like the way that they're playing football right now. You've got obviously Mohamed Kudus on the right. You've obviously got Lucas Bergval in there. Javi Simons there as well. Richarlison up front as well. They are looking very, very good, and obviously you've got Brennan Johnson in reserve there for that right hand side as well. So and obviously Joe Pelini is a very very good signing as well. So Tottenham are doing a good job under Thomas Frank. He is a very good manager, and Spurs fans will want to hope that that continues because they are playing very very good stuff, and it's good to see. It's very very good to see. Aston Villa off the mark, 2-1 win over Burnley. They'll be very happy with that, and they just needed that win. They just needed that win to get them off the mark, and that'll be very very good. And Unai Emery, very good manager, very very good manager to do that as well. So, as at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I'm going to pit this one to Tottenham. I think Aston Villa lost this one 3-1 or 4-1 last season. And I've just got a feeling that Spurs will win this one. I'm going to go, Tottenham 2, Aston Villa 1. Going to go for that as well. But arguably the biggest game of the weekend, straight after the international break, the two biggest rivals in English football history. These two were battling it in the 70s and the 80s. Liverpool versus Manchester United. Oh, yes, we have this game. We have this game. Liverpool, 3 defeats in a row. Am I concerned? Yes, I am. To be honest. International break definitely came at the right time for us. I'll say that. We have not looked great at all in any game this season. So I'm hoping that the international break will have sort of done a lot for us, and hopefully it has. And it's very disappointing to say, but 3 defeats, and 3 defeats really can't really argue against, and that's the thing. As well, there's been calls for Mohamed Salah to be dropped. There's been calls for Federico Chiesa to start. I've been one that's been wanting Chiesa to start for ages as well. But something just ain't right there. Something just ain't clicking at the moment in time. I know Gakpo got the goal against Chelsea, but again, he looked non-existent again, Cody Gakpo. Got a problem at right back. Obviously, Marmadashvili is obviously going to be continuing goal because obviously Alisson Becker is not fully fit. So it is a bit of a concern. Defensively, we're not the greatest either. And hopefully the injury to Ryan Gravenberch is not too bad either. So yeah, I'm a bit concerned. A bit apprehensive about this one. Let me put it this way. Manchester United, off the back of a 2-0 win over Sunderland, really good performance and really good win, to tell you the very, very truth. Mason Mount as well scoring, which was very, very good to see. And was it Sesko that got the other one? I think it was Sesko, wasn't it? It was Sesko that got the other one. Like Manchester United, go to Anfield. A lot of people are probably writing them off, and it's really dangerous to do that because Manchester United have obviously got this one win, but again, they haven't won 2 in a row under Ruben Amorim. So now is the best chance to do it because Liverpool are on the back of 3 straight defeats. Manchester United have kind of settled it down a little bit as well. Obviously, Jim Radcliffe, I should say, has given that dreaded vote of confidence to Ruben Amorim and trying to, get his ideas across. But Manchester United will fancy themselves at Anfield. They will. 2-2 draw last season. But something just has to click. Something just has to click very, very soon. Could it be this weekend? I am hopeful. That we can, get the victory over Manchester United. I am really, really hopeful. It's probably more optimistic, this prediction, but you just never know. It is after an international break. Form definitely goes out the window for these two. Gonna go Liverpool 2, Manchester United 0. I do think that if we have enough quality, we should be able to pick off Manchester United. We should. But again, if they have the quality, they've got the quality to show that they can pick us off as well. So, really interesting one. But I'm going to go Liverpool 2, Manchester United 0. And that leaves the final game is Monday Night Football. It is West Ham against Brentford. Very interesting game, this one. I've got to say, really interesting one. London derby, of course. West Ham lost by 2-0 at Arsenal, whereas Brentford lost to Manchester City. So it is the first home game for Nuno Espirito Santo. Let's just be honest. West Ham have played better football under Espirito Santo than they did under Graham Potter. Let's just say that now. But again, it's all about getting results. And that is the one thing you have to say when you are languishing near the foot of the table. You definitely need to get results. And what no better way to go to the London Stadium against Brentford and try and get a result for sure. Jared Bowen, look, he's the one. He is the one that gets them clicking. He's the one that tries and gets them goals. But it's never easy for West Ham to do that. Brentford again, another team that will be happy with their start. They'll be happy with their start. Only 1-0 defeat against Manchester City, and again they've got to thank Queeving Kelleher because he was very, very good in that game as well. Obviously, the last game against Manchester United, Kelleher saved the penalty as well. So Brentford will go to the London Stadium and think they can definitely get something. But I think Brentford are better at the G-Tech than I think they are away. So West Ham just need a win from somewhere. They just need to sort of win from somewhere. So do I think they'll get it? I do. I do think West Ham will win this one. I'm going to go for them to sneak this one. West Ham 2, Brentford 1. So there we go, guys. There are my predictions for week 8 of the 25-26 Premier League season. I'll go for my predictions very, very quickly, and then you get yours in the comments section down below. So Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 2. Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Newcastle United 1. Burnley 1, Leeds United 1. Crystal Palace 2, Bournemouth 1. Manchester City 2, Everton 0. Sunderland 2, Wolves 1. Fulham 1, Arsenal 1. Tottenham 2, Aston Villa 1. Liverpool 2, Manchester United 0. And West Ham 2, Brentford 1. So get your predictions down in the comments. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. And also press that hype button as well. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.